All right, this module is a little bit different, guys, because we're shifting gears from energy, shifting gears from relationships, and we're actually going to go a little bit in reverse order because we started talking about all these things that we should do to be positive leaders. Now we're going to talk about finding purpose. So, what is the why behind my desire to create relationships? The why behind the things that I'm doing to increase energy in my organization and to utilize that energy. So finding purpose is where we are in this module. In this module, I've got a lot of things for you to think about, but I think at the heart of this, we should be thinking about why do we do what we do? And it could be at the intersection of a lot of different questions, okay? And so I hope that you'll consider these questions as you think about your why. Your why may be because you love something, right? The question of what do you love? What do you love to do? What do you love in terms of the people that you love? And is that going to be the driver? As a matter of fact, I'll share this really quickly. There is a great podcast out there by Adam Grant where he talks about organizational behavior, and the podcast is called Rethinking or Work Life. And one of the episodes, he interviews a newspaper reporter, and the episode is all about intergenerational conflict. And one of the things that they find in this research is that whether you are a Gen Xer, a Gen Zer, a millennial, a baby boomer, we actually have very similar values. Whether it's caring for family or stability, we have similar values, but we demonstrate those values in different ways. And so this idea of what do I love, we may have similar loves and passions. And so we can tap into that regardless of what my workforce looks like. So if I have generationals and boomers and millennials, we might be able to work together if we can think about the why from the what we love, right? The next thing we should ask ourselves is what does the world need? Right? What impact am I going to have on the world? And this was where it gets a little bit more into the why behind it, where I start articulating the difference we're going to make. For a while, I actually ran a little quarter turn candy machine business with my kids. I thought it would be a good way for them to learn business skills. And I finally had to ask myself the question, why am I doing this? Because I realized like I was putting things into the world that I didn't love as much, right? Like I love candy, but I definitely think I need to reduce the amount of candy that I put into the world. So we have to think about what does the world need and be intentional with that. We also need to think about what I can be paid for, right? There are things that we can do for free. I call this the snowboarding principle. There are people who will carry a board up and down a mountain for hours because they love it so much and they will pay to do it. That's something we love. But when it comes to our profession, when it comes to our work, what can we be paid for, right? What do people need and what can we get, compensation so that we can do the things that we love? And then, of course, the last one that I'd encourage us to ask ourselves about is what are we good at? Sometimes we're involved in organizations that we aren't the best at, and that's okay. That's why it's the last one that I'm asking, because we can always improve. But the idea here is what am I good at, and how can that help me to find my meaning, my passion, and my love? So, again, I hope that you're enjoying this week. It's a great opportunity to think about your why, and I think you'll find it to be meaningful as you engage with it.